Well, good morning. Y'all all know me, but I'll state my name. I am the Hutch. I'm very, very proud to put on this presentation. This is about a book I read that changed my life. It's by Nicholas Boothman called How to Make People Like You in 90 Seconds or Less. Ooh. It's an amazing, I told him to boo me. It's an amazing, amazing book. And it is techniques for managing your first impressions. What you give off, what people see, you probably don't realize, but in those first couple seconds that you meet someone, they're judging you without you even knowing it. So that is today. We have a quote, and this is by Amy Cuddy. I'm going to read this because this is a really good quote. She said, "We form a first impression of another person. It's not really a single impression. We really are forming two. We're judging how warm and trustworthy the person is, and that's trying to answer the question, what are this person's intentions towards me, and why are we asking ourselves how strong and competent is the person, especially in education, how competent are you in your field? And that's really whether or not they're capable of enacting their intentions. Research shows that these two traits dimensions account for about 80 to 90% of overall first impressions. It's amazing how when you're reading someone's body language, when you're looking at them and learning who they are in the first 90 seconds you're meeting them, you're trying to figure out, are they competent? Do I want to talk to this person, or are they just one of these people I'm like, hey, it's nice to meet you, and then you move on. So I really liked Amy's view on that. She didn't write the book, but I researched this and saw this, and she worked with Harvard and Stanford with a lot of things that she went over. So I was like, that's really cool how she views it as well. I do want to show you a video, so we're going to watch this video.
Hey, thanks for watching the kids on such short notice. Come on in.
Hey, I know we said 10, but do you think you could stay till 11?
Probably. Let me just call my parole officer.
This is your captain. Oops, never flown one of these. Don't push that, you idiot. That jettisons the fuel. Don't ever call me an idiot. You want to go? You want to do this right here?
How's it going, Coach? Good. I want you to meet your new star running back.
Son, our future is in your hands.
So let's get you checked out here. You say it's the leg here, and oh dear, yeah, that's the lump. Wow, that's cancer. That's gross. What's your schedule look like? We're probably gonna need to amputate today. Do you have a will?
That's my cell phone. I'm here for a flu shot.
Wow, close call. You are lucky to be alive. Let's get that flu shot taken care of. Okay.
Yeah, we're trying out a new small group. I'll talk to you later.
Kill them all, as soon as they come in.
He's dead. Let's get rid of him. Oh, hey guys, come on in. A little bit of a fly problem.
Hey, you guys, welcome to our small group. Come on in.
So that is a pretty comical video, but I love how the first impression goes wrong really quickly. And I know that I've had moments where my first impression was what I thought it was going to be, and it was horrible. I was super excited my first year at Rossville, and I was like coming in guns blazing. And the teacher I was teaching with was Elisa Lofton. And Elisa Lofton is not one of these that you can just be super expressive with and be really in your face and hey, I'm so excited to be here, because she was like, I'm gonna kill him, because I was super excited, and she was like, you need to calm down. How many people, how many of you have ever seen someone that you think they're super enthusiastic and you really like their enthusiasm, but then they can become just overbearing, and you're like, all right, you need to slow your roll. And that happens a lot because we're not paying attention to what we're giving off. We're just in the moment. A lot of us do that without even thinking. So here's some key points that we're going to talk about. How to Make People Like You in 90 Seconds or Less. It's the book that we're going to talk about. I strongly advise you, if you can, it's on Amazon for like $11. Pick it up. It's a great book. It deals a lot with what we deal with in education. Fantastic book. The KFC's 3-step model of communication. The 5-step system for meeting someone new. How to deal with disagreeable and difficult people. We don't deal with that at all in education, not at all. And then the number one identifiable predictor of success. So, first thing we're going to talk about is neuro-linguistic programming. Now, this is a lot of really big words, and what it means is there's study that's going on, there's people at UCLA, doctors that are in charge of it, that try to see why we are the way we are and how we approach other people due to our five senses. So there are people who are auditory people, and they approach the world by listening. There are people who are visual. Me, I have to be out moving around. I can't put my hands down. I always have to sit on my hands if I'm in a room full of people who are not moving. There's also kinetic people. They like to be touched. If you've ever been led around by someone and they say, hey, come this way, and they touch you on the shoulder, they're a kinetic person because they feel confident enough to touch you. Here's the problem. If you're not a kinetic person and you get touched, you're like, whoa, you're in my bubble. Because Elisa, one of my best friends, I would not go grab her on the shoulder to lead her somewhere because she'd be like, don't touch me again, please. And that's a very bad first impression if you don't understand people's personalities. There are people who are auditory and kinetic. You can kind of flow back and forth between the different ones. But what I love is go to a holiday like Thanksgiving. You open up the door, new house, and the first thing someone says, man, it smells great in here. Okay, they're processing through their smell. So they go into the house and that's the first thing. Man, it smells great. There are people like me who are visual. As soon as I walk in, whoa, look how tall they're ceiling it. I'm looking at the house. I'm looking at how it's laid out. There are people who are kinetic. They walk in, they're very quiet. How are you? Hands are in their pockets like my wife. She is like a house cat in the back, looking at people, doesn't want anyone to talk to her at all. And she's listening to everything. She's like, it is so loud in their foyer. Like you walk in and I can hear people in the kitchen, or whatever it could be. But there are people like that in education, there's students like that come into your classroom and you're just going and trying to conquer the day and you don't even see that these students are perceiving you in a different way. And that's really, really important. Neuro-linguistic programming is awesome. I want to go and study it. I just need the time to do it. But I would love to go out and get my certification in it because I think we use it all the time. We talk about our senses. One of the things that Nicholas Boothman talks about in his book is that we not only have the 5 things that we do every day, but we have a 6th. And the 6th, 5 senses, and then you are processing language. So in your subconscious and what you're doing and just listening, you're processing everything I'm saying. Now, if we deal with students that have processing deficits, we don't realize that they probably don't hear what we are saying. We hear it and we process it and we're saying something, but they hear something completely different. And that's where we get the disconnect. That's where we get the, you're not paying attention to me. I need you to stop. I want you to listen to, and you're trying to get what you are trying to get, and they're trying to get what they, and there's just a huge disconnect because we are not on the same page. And how many of you have ever had a class where you start and then you have to reset button and go, okay, we're not on the same page. All right, let's start this again because this is not going to go well at all. Now, the reason why it doesn't go well is because of a lot of this neuro-linguistic programming. So Nicholas has his master's in this. He is great with this, and it's the concept of synchrony. Now, a lot of us do this without even understanding we do it. And it's the ability to synchronize your attitude, your body language, and your voice tone and make you instantly likable to other people. If you're a loud person, me, and you're very vibrant, talking a whole lot, and you go into a room where it's quiet, you can see that I'll change the way that I'm speaking. I might put my hands in my pockets and like play with something like a fidget spinner or something to try to not be so animated because everyone else is not. That's because I've paid attention to how I give off this nonverbal communication. We're like, whoa, that dude is in your face. Now, your body language is something also that I think a lot of us don't really pay attention to. We don't understand what we're giving off, especially to our students. We think we are who we are, they see us, but we don't understand that what we brought in with us and what our body language is saying, we're giving a lot of information to our students. How many of y'all have students that like to push your buttons, especially when they see that something's up? So they see you're stressed out, they see you're upset, and then they go, boom, and they go right in because they know, okay, they're upset. Because you can't hide it, right? It's something that you're giving off. So I love the book. I'm telling you, read the book because it's fantastic. But this is what I want to hang out and talk about for a minute because this is super crucial to the success of an educator. KFC model. 1, know what you want. F, find out what you're getting. And C, change what you do until you get what you want. This is super important because there's keywords here. First one, know what you want. Okay, you pre-plan. As an educator, you go in with a plan book, a model, you have your standards, you have your objectives, you have it wrote up on the board. Today's objectives, and you make it real pretty with your handwriting. My handwriting is atrocious. But you're up there and you've had your day planned out, you're ready to go. Students haven't even come in, you've had your coffee, your breakfast, let's go, let's conquer the day. And then the first group of kids come in and it's gone. Everything you wrote on the board, everything you want to do is not going to happen. Because now you have to find out what you're getting. Okay, something happened on the bus. Something happened at home. This person hates this person. Well, this person's shy today. Well, this person's going through this. Well, this person's good. And you're up there going, I have expectations. I have what I want to do because it's my classroom. Now, that attitude gets you nowhere. Because if you realize that it's your classroom and it's your expectations and it's what you want, congratulations. Because you're not going to get that far because the students are going to butt you automatically. So you have to find out what you're getting. What am I getting from my students? How am I going to reshape? And this is the most important part. Change you. Not what, you can take what out. Change you. You're not changing the students, which that is the fundamental flaw in education, is that we have the ability to go to the student and say, you need to adhere to me. You need to listen to me. You need to follow the rules that we do. You need to do this. You need to adhere to this. You need to make sure that you turn this in. You need to make, it's like so many yous. And we're just pointing to these kids. Instead of changing ourselves to adhere to what's the real focus of the day. I mean, we say here at Rossville, a lot of times there's kids that come in that haven't eaten. They're sleeping on, a concrete floor somewhere. They're in the same clothes they've been in for like 3 months, 4 months. And you have your objectives. You have, well, today we're going to learn this. I have worked on my entire spiel and I'm ready to go. And I don't care about what you're going through because I need to get through my standards because we have maps coming up and we need to go over this. This is educational speak that we hear all the time. Teachers are like, well, we got to get through this. We have a curriculum map and we got to go. But they didn't change anything about themselves. I think effective teaching is getting into a classroom, finding out what you're getting, and completely changing who you are. Now, that takes years. And you have to be very, very skilled in being pliable. One of the biggest things in education, I think, is pliability. Like, you need to talk to teachers, especially administration, when they interview someone, say, how flexible are you? Because if you're not flexible, education's probably not the best suit for you. Because what you think and what you find out changes who you are. So I really believe in the KFC model. I think it's super, super important. When I read it in the book, I was like, man, this helps you in all your conversations that you have out in life, but it really helps you in education because that happens every day. So KFC model, anybody have any questions on that or a comment that they've seen that? Because that happened like yesterday. And the day before that, and the day before that, I've dealt with the KFC model this entire year. So I don't know about y'all, but it's not been, since COVID and coming back, we can do whatever we want and put great lesson plans out there. But then the first day of school, things completely changed. So that's awesome. Now, we take the KFC model and we go a little step further. We start talking about the 5-step method of meeting someone new. Now you're taking the KFC model of what you're trying to fix on yourself and what you're trying to find out, what you know already, and now you're applying it. So you have to adjust your attitude. I grew up my entire life with my parents saying, fix your attitude. Fix your attitude. We'd be on the way to church and I'd be really mad in the back seat and they'd be like, fix your face. I was told, fix my face. You better fix that face. because it was written all over my face that I hated everyone in the car, and I was going to hate everyone at church because I didn't want to go. Fix your face. I tell my 2 sons, hey, you need to change your attitude. I say that all the time. Or I say, fix your emotions. Now, fix your emotions is I'm putting it on them saying, hey, it's you. You need to fix your emotions. I'm not going to do it. It's you. Now, adjusting your attitude, you can do it 2 different ways. You can either choose to be useful or choose to be useless. Now, we're not talking about like good behavior, bad behavior. We're talking about useful behaviors and useless behaviors. Think about that. If you come to school with a useless attitude, don't come to school. Please don't teach the kids, and don't try to be a mentor, for God's sake, please, because if you're a useless person, you're going to hurt these kids where they're never going to want to come through the doors. Because I hate going to that classroom. I do not like that teacher. That teacher could care less because that teacher has a useless attitude. And it's a hard pill to swallow because sometimes knowing what you want and then finding out what you get, you're not really excited about that and you choose not to change you. You're going to change the other people. Well, no, I'm not changing. They need to change. And then you have a very useless attitude. Now, as administration, you see all kinds of schools deal with it. You know, the faculty comes together. Okay, guys, let's all have the same concept. Let's have the same rallying cry. And you got the ones in the back. Cool. All right. Yep. Yay. Yeah, yes. And you can see it all over their face. And you're like, oh, I hope you buy in. Right? So that useless and useful attitudes, ouch. Go ahead and, I've had a useless attitude many times. And that's something that's hard to swallow. Eye contact. Do you know it is a proven fact that women are self-conscious when a man looks them in the eyes? Because men don't look women in the eyes that much. I mean, we are very visual beings, men are, and we look at women, and it just happens, but we never really look them intently in the face. And if you have someone grab your eye contact and keep it, it's invigorating sometimes, right? They're listening to me, they're paying attention to me. Now, it gets creepy really, really quick. That's my tip there. Don't stare, because it gets creepy. One of the things he says in the book is like lean in. How weird is that? Have you ever had someone like shake your hand and lean in? You're like, what do you know, I think it's Friends. Yeah, there's a Friends episode where he leans in and Rachel kisses him on the cheek because she doesn't know what to do. And then she's like, oh, I didn't mean, because totally not on the right page. But it happens. So eye contact is super important. Here's one I want you guys to try, okay? Try it throughout the day. Great, great, great. I love where he talks about smiling from the inside. Okay, so you cannot say the word great without having some sort of like better disposition. It just happens. So you meet someone, you're talking with your students, whatever, the student says, hey, I got up this morning and had a fantastic bowel movement. You're like, yay, I didn't need that information. Fantastic. Or whatever it is that the student says to you, that you're just like, awesome, all right, have a good day. And then they walk off, or they're just bantering, talking about all kind of stuff that you really don't care about. And you go, and you're shaking your head. Well, in your brain, if you say, great, yeah, that's great. That's great. You're going to smile and you're going to give them this sense where they're like, hey, they're listening. Instead of, get away from me, which happens a lot. So I love the great, great, great thing. You sync your body language. I don't know if any of you have ever done this. I love to do it. It's really weird if you've never done it, because especially with a group of people you've never been around, if you try to sync your body language to them, you have to be very, very careful, because they can pick it out real quick if they don't know you, because you're doing the same thing they're doing. Ever been in like a group of people all talking and like everybody's got a drink and you don't? And you're like, your hands feel weird because everybody else is doing this and you're not. Or everybody's got their hands in their pockets, so you walk up and kind of do the same thing. Hey, what are we talking about? And you try to be the same as them because you don't want to stick out like a sore thumb. I do that a lot. I'm a sore thumb because I just rub people the wrong way. And I try not to, but I just make mistakes. Sync your body language. Pay attention to your nonverbal cues. I'm going to pick on you women for a minute. Y'all have really, really bad nonverbal cues that everybody can see because you're emotional and you hold it and you say it without saying it, because like I can get it from my wife. If she's mad, she doesn't have to say anything. I can just see it from across the room. I'm like, something happened. Now, men are frustrated to start throwing stuff, saying stuff, because we want to get it out. We want to be angry in the moment, but then we want to forget it. Women are like, good to know. And then they hold on to it. Case in point, my wife held on to something for a week. I had no idea. And then we're in church, and she leans over and goes, yep, it pissed me off. I'm like, what did I do? She goes, oh, no. It was a week ago. I'm like, a week ago? I can't even remember 2 minutes ago. I don't remember what I did a week ago. Now, think about our students, though. Our students, they pay attention to every bit of your nonverbal. Like, you think they're listening to you? No, they're not listening to you. Half the time that we're talking and we're trying to instruct them, are they paying attention? No. They're on their computers, they're playing a game, they're talking to their friend, they're doing a TikTok video, they're doing something. They ain't listening. But man, walk up to the front door, shoot, and it's like slam it. Everybody's eyes look at the door and it's quiet for a second. You're like, hey, I got everybody's attention. I mean, have you ever done that? I've done it. And you get like a pin could drop in the room. Or you raise your voice. All right, enough's enough. Everybody looks at you. No, hold on. I pushed a button. And you have everybody's attention for that 10, 20 seconds. Okay? What you do next is crucial. Think about it, because when you get that attention of those kids, they're looking at you, they're paying attention to you, and it's what you do in those seconds that they either have rapport with you or just, nope, I want nothing to do with that teacher. Happens all the time. Then, like I was saying, finding rapport, find common ground. Assuming rapport is something we do all the time. If you don't think you do it, you're a liar because you do it. And because we assume rapport because we talk to people about TV shows we've seen or like a TikTok video. Oh, did you see that? Oh yeah, I saw it too. Wasn't it hilarious? You're assuming that that person has the same, things that you do in common. I love whenever I talk to someone about TikTok, and this is what I get. I don't have social media. Okay. That tells me all I need to know in like a couple of seconds, because I'm like, I want to talk to you. You're a fantastic person, because I walk up, hey man, did you see this new video? I don't do anything on my phone. Cool, all right. Why would I want to hang out with that? And that happens. It happens super quick. Our students come up to us and like, hey, and you're like, no, not right now. They're like, oh, okay. Or they say something like, yeah, I could care less about that. And they're like, ouch. And a lot of times they go to their parents or siblings or whoever they do at home, and nobody gives a flying crap about what they do. So then they come to school and they can't wait to see the teacher because they want to tell the teacher, and the teacher's like, go to class, either go to the bathroom or go to class. I got no time. You got 2 minutes and I don't, and they're like, I was just trying to, and then they don't even explain themselves. Does that sound familiar? I see it every day. Happens every day. So these are really, really important things, not only to do with your students and with your colleagues and everyone you see every day, but especially when you meet someone. When you meet someone for the first time, don't be that person that's like, oh, I don't have social media. Or as soon as someone says something, go, oh yeah, I have nothing to do with that. Because you're just giving off a message of, I didn't want to talk to you in the first place. And that's really hard sometimes because people come to us with useless information. I could care less about what you're talking about. My mother-in-law could care less about sports. She does not watch any type of sporting event. She could care less, but she knows that I'm passionate about sports. So you know what she does? She brings up conversation. She's like, hey, so who's really good this year? And she'll ask me questions. She could care less, but she's starting a conversation about something she knows I'm passionate about. Wow. It shows that she has, love for me. I think that's great. A lot of us teachers, we do that every day with our students. We ask them about things. We comment about their clothing. Hey, I really like your shirt, or whatever it is. And we try to create those relationships because it's super important. All right. So, difficult people are everywhere. Come to Rossville Middle School, or come to any school, because there's going to be difficult people. Have you ever thought that there might be more difficult teachers in the building than students? Ooh. Difficult teachers it's really hard to work with them. You're like, you see things, you hear things, and you go, I would love to go tell them. Why don't you? Oh, it's like, well, I don't want to offend. Okay, well, are you passionate about something? Is it something that you believe in? Then go tell them. You know, tell them in kindness and love. But one of the things we're going to talk about is like speaking up. One of the biggest things about likability, and Nicholas Boothman writes a whole another book about it, is about the ability to speak up, and we'll see that at the end. It's very, very important. So, people are not aware of what they're giving off. Your nonverbal cues, that resting face, you know, that everybody loves to talk about. You know, I'm mad and I hate you and I hate the world. My wife can be looking out the window and I'm just automatically, I've done something. And I'm like, you okay? She's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, no, you're mad. No, I'm not mad. But you look mad. And like, then we have this like back and forth for like 15 minutes. She goes, I'm fine, leave me alone. I'm like, okay, fix your face, tell your face, because you look horribly mad. But it's information she's giving off and that I'm misreading it, and it happens. Our students do it all the time. I had a student yesterday that I automatically knew the student was upset because the student normally is laughing and talking to people, and the student was sitting by themselves, not talking to anyone. So the students started picking on the one student, saying, well, so-and-so just is mad today. Now that student is trying to process and trying to figure out everything that's going on and can't because all these other people are busy in their business. So the student's like, okay, can I go to the bathroom? So they do. And I check. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go check on the student. Crying. The student's like, I can't deal with this. I cannot deal with this. And it was so much going on. I'm like, all right, we just need to take a breather, and I understand what's going on. But you see that? Like, I could see that nonverbal, and I knew, okay, if I don't speak up, if I don't do something about this right now, who knows what could, ISS, a fight, anything, because they can't process what they're going through. Actively listening, watch your nonverbals. More is caught than taught. I love how Hannah Novell said that. Man, these kids are really good at catching what you do. Are they going to remember the coefficient, the cosine, and all that? No. I can teach them about math till I'm blue in the face, but they're not going to remember any of that. They're going to remember how I made them feel. They're going to remember how they were safe and that they loved Coach. And that's the most important thing in education. It's not content. Sorry for those that are saying that. Content's important, but man, we're trying to shape these individuals to being confident individuals as they grow up. Who cares if they're book smart if they can't go out into the world and be a part of society? So try these icebreakers. Now this happens, and you've probably used all these and haven't even noticed that you've done it. First one, you know how. Okay, someone's really upset. You know how I deal with that? You ever said that? You know how okay, because you're going to take it off of them and you're going to put it on you. Man, that really, really is hard. You know how I dealt with that because I was just like you. Okay, I love the students that are shorter and smaller because I'm like, that's me. I was like, locker size whenever I was in high school. The kids could just shove me in a locker real easy. So the kids that deal with that, I walk over, I'm like, man, you know how I dealt with that? And I'm automatically trying to make that connection with that student just by talking about myself. Well I, or well we, that's the Rossville motto, come in the office, they're getting in trouble. Well, we here at Rossville believe in this. Well, we're gonna do this. Well, I think you should. Okay, it's very easy to do that when you have your expectations. Our expectations are this. Well, we're gonna adhere to this. And you have to have that plan. You have to have the well we and well I, because if not, you're gonna get into one of these situations where you can't get yourself out of it. And then man, Dr. Neely is so good at this. He will listen to you as you talk to him, and he'll put his hands in his pockets and he'll go, mm-hmm. He'll pay attention to everything. And when you're done, he'll go, so you said, and then he starts asking you questions. So you think that, and then you're like backtracking. No. So you said this, and then you're trying to backpedal. Okay, that's not a fun place to be in as an adult, especially if you ever hear a student push you and say, so you said, whoa. Because you're like, how dare you as a student try to question me with something or come back at me? I've been there. well, you said, so you said this. So it's very, very important that you pay attention to how you get yourself into a conversation, an argument, whatever you have, and how you're going to get yourself out of it. Because that KFC model can help you in an argument. It can help you with all that. But you have to practice. Look at the tips. You have to actively listen, which is hard for me to do because I talk too much. But you have to practice. It's an everyday thing. Some days are going to suck, and you're going to mess up everything. And you're going to go home and say, I don't want to teach anymore. I've had one of those days this year. I went home and said, I'm done. I don't want to teach anymore. How horrible is that? Because that teacher got up the next day and came right back in to be a mentor to students when I said, I don't want to teach anymore. So I have to think about that, and I have to analyze my own self and say, what am I trying to get here? What am I trying to do? I need to change myself because I can't let this affect me to a point where I can't do anything. So, how do we achieve success? This is so awesome. Okay, so Thomas Harrell of Stanford Business School spent 20 years looking at the leaders of MBAs and looking at what they called identifiable predictors of success. He found that the number one identifiable predictor of success was the ability to speak up. Wow. Okay, so I get an A. Just kidding. I can't shut my mouth, but speaking up and talking a lot are two separate things. If you speak up, you're actually passionate about something and you have done the research or you're ready to input yourself into that conversation. That is highly important. Talking a lot, it might get you where everyone dubs you as the person who talks too much. But it's referred to as social extroversion. Wow, okay. There's one place that people always speak up all the time, and it's in the airport. Okay, airports are awkward. Airports, a lot of things are going on. People are moving everywhere. Okay, and it's very easy to sit down next to someone and just go, hey, and then them say, hello. You can talk about the book that they're reading, anything. Hey, I like your shoes. Hey, thanks. Where are you going? Oh, well, we're both going to the same place. Oh, yeah, we're sitting in the very easy context. Very easy conversations. Now, where's one place that people don't talk? Think about it. Men don't talk in the line for the bathroom. I mean, that's weird. Like you're in the line to go to the bathroom, you're like, what's up, man? Yeah, can't wait. Yeah, gotta go. It's a weird place to have conversations on your way to the bathroom. I went to a concert with Dr. Neely, and it started to rain, and everybody had to run for cover, and we're standing in the bathrooms, over this little canopy, and there's all these people huddled, and no one's saying anything to anyone, and it was super awkward. And then this one guy started joking. He was like, man, how about that weather? He said something stupid. And people started laughing. These people started laughing. Before you know it, people are talking. And we're standing in the beginning of a bathroom, and everybody's laughing and joking. And it went from complete silence and awkwardness, because you're standing really close to me, to us laughing and talking about things. See that? That's the power of being able to know some of these techniques and putting yourself out there and speaking up and just putting yourself into a crowd and just being the person who starts the conversation. You don't have to lead it, just start it. So it's super important. Look at the tip. It says if you speak up, you'll get somewhere. But if you don't speak up, you're guaranteed that you're not going to go anywhere. How many of you have ever wanted a job and you were just too worried? Like, I'd love to apply to some. I used to work in corporate America for years, and man, I learned really quickly it's about networking and chatting these people up and talking to these people and wearing what they wear. And okay, I'm on the fast track, I'm gonna talk. Because if I would have sat in my cubicle and done nothing, I would have sat there my entire life. There's people who do that. There's people right now that work at Blue Cross, good friends of mine, that have worked in a cubicle for 35 years and stayed in the same cubicle for 35 years. And when you ask them, hey, don't you want to I think those times will come. They've never really asserted themselves. So something to think about. But this is the ending of our time. Thank you so much for staying with me. The key takeaways: have a useful attitude. When you go out today, have a useful attitude with your students. Don't be useless. Don't bring in your crap and all the stuff that you want. Look, none of that matters. I mean, as soon as you come through the doors and you're in here, it's all about, okay, how can I change to best fit them and me where we can cohabitate and we can learn some things and go home. It's not about you at all. So you've got to get your useful attitude going and get that useless attitude away. Because trust me, administration can see useless attitudes from like a mile away. Like, wow, it's like really clear. So they can see what we don't see sometimes. Pay attention to all your nonverbals. So when your students are around you, pay attention to what you're doing and how you're doing it. Also remember KFC, know what you want, find out what you're getting, and change you. Change what you can do, not other people. And then try to be a social extrovert. Try to walk around. I found out things about Miss Carol just because I had no idea she even played drums. But we just started talking about stuff. And then when we did, boom, we had this in common, we had this rapport, and it was like, hey, I saw this, hey, did you see that? And we're just having a conversation. It just happened naturally. You know, super easy when you have a dog. Oh, I love dogs. Hey, people are talking to you before you even have a chance. You know, you say one thing about, I've got to lose my baby weight, and it automatically starts a conversation that you can't get out of. Because there's a bunch of people going, seriously? And then you're going to have other people going, you had a baby and you look like that? They're all kind of conversations. And you're going to be able to, man, I had 3 kids and it took me forever. You know, and this woman is giving you all this information that you didn't even ask for. But it's because you said, man, I got to watch, I can't eat that cookie, I got to work on my baby weight. And then you got that one woman, I'll eat yours. You know, whatever it is, that happens.
Except for this week.
Yeah, so, but like, I've had conversations, and I want y'all to understand this. Every single one of you in this room, I've had a conversation about what you do and something about what you've done because I wanted to get to know you. I didn't talk about me, I talked about you. I talked about what you like to do. I asked questions about you. And I gained knowledge where I feel like I can stand in a room as a peer and have rapport with you because I'm not a complete stranger. So it's very, very important. It's stuff we do every day, but it's just kind of remembering to do it. That's it. So you guys have any questions?